Let me do a sound check real quick. Um, let's see. Uh, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Turn the volume up. Let's see. Okay. All right, we're good. Let me share this out real quick, and then I'll get started. 1 second. One second. All right. So I shared it there. Let me share it on Google Plus, and then I'll get started. Okay. All right. Everything is shared. All right. So what's going on, everybody? Hoovy 186 back again with the Hoovy on Deck episode 8. Haven't done one of these in a little bit. Let me turn that down. Haven't done one of these in a little bit because it's been dry in the gaming front. Not anymore. There's a lot of shit to talk about. Um, but before I do, I did make a video a couple days ago talking about this need for Xbox fanboys to talk about downgrades for every PlayStation game. I do have that video up. You guys can check that out. Leave a like or comment, whatever is best for you guys. Um, so yeah, yeah, I guess we'll just start off with the biggest news that came out this week, and it's this no this whole little controversy thing regarding Fortnite. Now, a couple days ago, um, Epic Games announced that they're going to introduce crossplay between PS4. They only really announced PS4 and PC and stuff like that, and people were kind of wondering what about the Xbox version. And I think Epic and Microsoft both came out, said they're working on a solution, and that pretty much, if you saw the tweet that came out, I think there was somebody who asked Phil, I wish I can play PS4 gamers on my Xbox. Phil said me too, and then the Epic account, the Fortnite account, said me we three. So it's clear what's going on here. Now I made a video about this a couple of I think probably a year ago. The last time this crossplay thing kind of been brought up, and my opinion on it hasn't changed all that often. And here's my opinion. I understand why Sony's not doing it. Do I think it sucks? Yeah, of course it does. Of course it sucks because I think it would be a cool feature to have. But at the same time, does that affect the game? For me, no. Because for me, I there are two games I know for a fact that I own that has crossplay with PC gamers. That's Rocket League and Street Fighter Five. And Street Fighter Five is not a game that is made better or worse because of crossplay. I mean the game is what it is. Crossplay is not a is not it's not something that I'm like it's not one of the reasons why I would say that Street Fighter is like the best fighting game ever. I'm not gonna use crossplay as a reason. And Rocket League, I know I play some gamers in that from it. It's fun. Obviously Rocket League is one of my favorite games of the generation. But obviously when you have a lot of games to choose from. You're not going to be playing it often. I haven't played Rocket League and God knows how long. And crossplay between PlayStation and Xbox is not going to change that. So like I said back then, I believe that's a cool feature to have. I feel bad most for developers who want to do it and can't do it. You know what I mean? Because of the whole corporate BS that's going on between Microsoft and Sony. And let me also say this. Let me also say this. Like I said, I understand why Sony said no, just like I understood why Microsoft said no last generation. Now I think there's been a lot of talk on Twitter regarding, oh, did Sony really say yes or no and this and that? Were they really fully involved? Yes or no. Here's what we do know. We don't know because obviously the whole crossplay thing really didn't become a thing until this generation. And even then, I still wonder if it's a thing. But regardless of that, we know for a fact that Microsoft was against it. We know that for a fact last generation. There's statements, there's articles that you can look around with them saying that they pretty much using the same excuse Sony used originally. But the problem is that what that dude's name? Something Ryan. I forgot. I think I forgot the dude's name. It's not. I know it's not Mike Ryan. What? I forgot the dude's name. But the dude, see, one of the European CEOs over at Sony, he pretty much said the same thing. He just used the stupid term of trying to protect kids and shit like that. But they're pretty much using the same argument that pretty much we can't police what goes on other networks. That's why we're not doing it. They pretty much use the same argument. You know what I mean? To me, the reason why I understand it because at the end of the day, when you're the top dog in the industry, you want to protect the sales no matter what. People can say what they want. Let me see. I mean, I can understand that Wolflow. Shout out to Wolflow, man. Always good for you to support me. Um, I understand, but I mean, from what I can tell, like when I play people in Street Fighter 5, you know, I think I know I've beaten PC gamers on some games, and obviously with Rocket League, you're kind of like it's mixed match between PlayStation guys and PC guys and stuff like that. So I haven't encountered any real issues. Even though I understand it could be an issue with PC because it's an open platform and you never know with some of the stuff going on when it comes to cheating because I obviously it's a big thing in Fortnite, it's a big thing in PUBG. Um, and obviously other games too where it's a big deal. But I haven't encountered those problems. But pretty much here's what I'm trying to say. When you're the top dog in the industry, you're trying to protect the sales of the games no matter what. Obviously, when you look at Sony, people can say, "Oh, well, it's not going to make a big difference." You may be right, but a business like Sony or Microsoft can't think that way unless there's a bigger plan involved. Unless there's look at the Game Pass with Microsoft, right? They announced Game Pass and saying that every one of every new uh release that they come out with is going to be on Game Pass. Now you can look at it from their perspective and be like, oh well, they're gonna lose out on a whole bunch of money for people buying it brand new, and that's fine. But you also have to think about the bigger picture that they're trying to do. They're trying to turn this Game Pass thing into kind of like they're a version of Netflix, right? There's a bigger picture involved. Is there a bigger picture involved between crossplay between PS4 and Xbox One? Is there a bigger picture? Maybe so for Microsoft, maybe. But what about Sony? What do Sony benefit from doing it? You get what I'm saying? I can't think of any benefits of them doing the crossplay with Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it is for Microsoft. You don't know. You know what I mean? And it's not me trying to defend Sony. Like like when it comes to me and the crossplay thing, I don't give a flying fuck. I don't care. It doesn't affect whether or not I play the game more or less or whatnot. Like it's not a big deal to me. All I'm saying is that I understand why they're doing it. I understand, and I think Kenji, shout out to him. He's from Twitter. The dude I know on Twitter. He said that he pretty much equated this to you trying to talk to a girl for a long time. She don't want to give you no play until you win the lottery, and then that's when she wants to get on you. And that analogy, while it's I don't want to say necessarily that it's extreme, but that analogy is perfect for this situation. People act like these companies aren't petty. Like these companies are extremely petty. You know what I'm saying? Like you think Sony's gonna sit there and try to and think that all of a sudden, ever since Microsoft decided to open up their network, that Sony's gonna sit there and be like, oh well, they're ready, so let's go. No, they're not. That's not how business works. You don't jump at the whim of your competition. Doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, people need to understand that these companies they have to do things that make sense for them business wise. And granted, yeah, I'm not part of their board meetings. I'm not here trying to defend it, but I would be dumb to sit there and pretend that stuff don't matter, that the business side of things don't matter. And you can't sit there and be on Microsoft's side when it comes to canceling games, when it comes to scalebound and stuff like that, and then at the same side say, oh, Sony, don't worry about the business ramifications, just do this for me and everybody else. It don't work that way. That's not how business works. And the one thing that pisses me off most about the whole thing is that you have a lot of these gamers who sit there and want to call Sony anti-consumer and say this and say that and try to make crossplay into a big deal and be like, oh well, nowadays we should be able to play anybody regardless of platform. And my thing is this: how many of these people own both consoles? I own both consoles, right? I own both consoles. A lot of these dudes who are bitching, whining, and complaining own both consoles. If you wanted to play against PlayStation gamers, open up your fucking PS4 and play them. If it meant that much to you. If you want to play people on Xbox, open up your Xbox and play them. A lot of these dudes be like, oh, well, we can't play them in Fortnite. Yeah, you can. If you open your fucking PS4 and download the game, it's free. It don't cost anything. It don't cost anything. And, I don't know if there's any type of solutions for using your Xbox controller on the PlayStation. I don't know if they have any type of devices. I'm sure they are. But regardless, like for me, for example, if I can adapt to either controller, most people can. Get the fuck out of here. Most people can adapt from a PS4 controller to a 360 controller, the PS4 controller to an Xbox One controller. I've done it. I've used a variation of a DualShock and Xbox for, obviously with the PlayStation controller. I've used it for I'd probably say 20 years, well over 20 years. And the Xbox controller, I've used a variation of that between the Xbox, the 360, and the One for what, like 13, 14 years. This whole talk about, oh well, we can't play our friends over at the other platform. Yeah, you can, because the vast majority of you guys own the system, but you guys don't like for what, either don't like using it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, do I think crossplay is gonna happen? Is ever gonna happen? Probably not. You know what I mean? Unless one company decides to go in a completely different direction and to the point where they can't really even be considered competition anymore. Maybe that will happen. But do I think it'll happen? Probably not. Do I think it's a big deal at the end of the day? Not really. I think the only way that it matters is when it comes to a dev team that might need the extended user base for all the games, right? Like a smaller team that might need the larger base so they can keep the game alive. And the one thing that people don't seem to realize, and I was thinking about this yesterday, that when you're asking for games to be playable between people on all platforms, you guys do realize that you guys we're really stepping into the whole games as a service, loot box galore, microtransaction galore, shit that we really don't want. It's a thing that's on cell phone gaming, currently. You know what I'm saying? Like you can pretty much if you I guess certain games, if you have them on um on Android, you can play people on the phone and shit like that. I mean, facts. Like facts. Who doesn't have a PS4? You look at some of the most divisive Xbox people on here, right? You can think of all the main Xbox dudes on the crumb side. You look at your Zaires, your crap gamers, your mooches. To a lesser extent, guys like Tim Dog. I like Tim Dog. I'm cool with Tim Dog. You know what I mean? You look at most of these guys have PlayStations. You know what I'm saying? So like and plus, obviously since I don't watch their channel, I don't know if they're bitching and complaining about this crossplay thing. But if they have PS4s and you want to play them that badly, turn on your fucking PS4 and play them. It is facts, man. Like I'm just this is all I'm saying. And but back to the whole cell phone thing. Like this like this is a thing that's going on with cell phones and shit like that. You can play people on different devices. That's fine. But most of those games are nickel and diming you. And it's one thing to do it on cell phone gaming because cell phone gaming is not that expensive. But with these games, not so much Fortnite because that game's free. But with these games, you're talking about $60 games. We're talking about $60 games. We're talking about we're talking about $60 game. We're talking about loot boxes. We're talking about microtransactions, and and crossplay is I don't want to say necessarily it's a part of that, but let's be real. Like they'll you don't think that an EA or Activision is going to use that let's say let me put out a scenario for you, and then I'll move on. Let's say, for example, Activision comes out with Black Ops 4, right? They decide, okay, no matter what platform you buy it on, you can buy it. No matter what, you'll be able to play people online, regardless of console or anything like that. So, PlayStation dudes can play against PC dudes, can play against Xbox dudes, right? Now, realistically, those companies would prefer you buy two versions of that one game, one for each console, whatever. Then rather you buy one game for whatever platform you want, so you can play people on another platform. You don't think that a company like that don't realize that they're not going to put any type of microtransaction or loot box in the game? Hell, they put it in there now. It's there now. You don't think that it's going to get ramped up? Come on, man. Let's be real. And then yeah, Flo, you're right, man. To me, it's fake outrage because because like I said before, when Microsoft decided to be all in on this, and look, props to them. They want to open up their network. That's fine, but they had to understand that you have to understand that Sony's not going to sit there and just all of a sudden because they decide that they're free to do it. That Sony should just be like, all right, cool, let's go, let's do this. No, it don't work that way, man. And it sucks for some people to hear it, but that's the fact. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to defend it, but to me, like a lot of this is just fake outrage because ultimately, I don't care about the whole crossplay thing, not to the extent where it would make or break a game for me. It doesn't work that way. And if you want to call them anti-consumer, go ahead. Like I mean, it's fine. Like I don't care either way. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, you also have to think. I think Porter Rock and Uptown Soul, they've come up with some situation with a situation when a game like Fortnite. Now this is according to what I saw. According to what they linked, Xbox gamers can't play Fortnite, which is free, Battle Royale, which is free. They can't play Fortnite unless they have an Xbox Live account. That cannot be said about the PlayStation, where even if you don't have PlayStation Plus, you can still play Fortnite. But a lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people don't talk about that. That's the fake outrage that I'm talking about. That's the fake outrage that Wolflo pointed out in the comment section. A lot of it is selective fake outrage, and it is what it is. It's not uncommon in the community. So it is what it is. I'm gonna leave it at that. But let me just discuss Fortnite real quick. I actually got a chance to play it back in, like, between Fortnite and PUBG. I prefer PUBG. Like I said, it's more realistic. It's more type of game that I like. But unfortunately, Fortnite plays plays a lot better, especially with the whole. I think they upped the game to 60 FPS, and to me, that's the first time I've seen a difference. like me like I can't. I mean, I can tell the difference between 30 and 60, but I never had that experience of going from 30 to 60 in the same game on the same platform. You know what I'm saying? When Fortnite first came out, when the Battle Royale first became a thing on Fortnite, it was 30 FPS. And then, I turned it on a couple days ago and it's just 60, and that's a fucking difference. It's such a stark difference. So, I played it, I like both games, but I just prefer PUBG. But man, Fortnite's become a juggernaut. This game has become an absolute juggernaut. And there are reasons for it. Obviously the game is free to play. It is more. In my opinion, I do think it is easier, even with the whole building structure thing. It is. I do think it is easier. And it's more visually appealing to a younger audience, and that's why I think it's gotten the pub that it's gotten. Like, I saw that it got some pub on Good Morning America, and boy, Blue Hole. I think it's Blue Hole or Blue Point. No, it's Blue Hole. Blue Hole must be pissed, man, because they. I don't want to say they started the survival genre, but they definitely popularized it, and now it's being taken over by Epic Games, and you have the whole controversy between you know Blue Hole and Epic when it comes to stealing ideas and stuff like that. I mean, damn, like, but what, people saying that, oh, because of Fortnite, PUBG's dying. I would hold off on that a little bit, because I don't think it's dying. You know what I mean? Like, I think PUBG is still a very relevant game, and I think it'll continue to be relevant as they progress and get better. So, but yeah, there's no denying the growth of um of Fortnite, man. It's nuts. But anyways, let's get to the two topics at hand. Regarding the I wanted to discuss inside the Xbox real quick. Now, I didn't watch this, or I didn't watch the Nintendo Direct either. So I'm just looking through the recap. Apparently, they're gonna add 8 more games to Game Pass. They're gonna add I think the main game is supposed to be. I think they said that Tomb Raider was supposed to be on there. Plus, they're adding City Skylines as well. I know they also talked about Sea of Thieves and some more information on that, and they talked about PUBG a little bit, and then I think they also showed off not showed off, but they talked about the big old school Xbox controller Duke. And me, I like the controller. You know what I mean? I like it. You know what I mean? It definitely, when I was first introduced to it, when my friend bought over his Xbox. Now, my friend's Xbox was modded, so it had it had the Super Nintendo, um Sega, N64 emulators and stuff like that. So it was the first time using it. At first, I didn't like it because it was so fucking big. But once you get used to it, it's actually a cool controller. I like the controller. So, the only thing that I have to look after we do this is what they're going to do with the RB and LB buttons. Because I don't want to use the fucking black and white buttons. I don't want to use that. I rather use I rather have, like, I rather have the RB and LB button, the bumper buttons. Oh man, Wolfslow, that dude is crazy, man. I mean, I have both games, so I like both games. So I can't really, I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, these games are the greatest game ever. I'm not gonna go that far, but I like both games. But when we're going back to the controller, yeah, I hope it does have bumpers. I don't want to use if it has the white and black buttons for aesthetics. I'm cool with that, but I just don't want them to be. I don't want them to be like dependable buttons. I don't want that. I really don't want that. Um, but I don't know. I don't know when that controller is supposed to be coming out. But when it does come out, I'll definitely buy that. So that will be my third Xbox controller, and then the fourth one would probably be a one that I get from Controller Labs. So I'll definitely do that. Now let me discuss, like, cause I've seen some people talk about how boring the show was, and it doesn't surprise me necessarily, but you also have to take into account that like with Microsoft, they have shows, they have you know they have shows like E3, they have Gamescom. You know what I mean? Like this to me, this is what I think Xbox inside Xbox should be. It should be about talking to developers, talking to the people at Xbox about stuff that are going on, whether it's service related. Hopefully they don't go into too much into TV stuff. Like we don't need that. But like gaming related services, maybe highlight some controllers, talk about some new games, like stuff like that. I'm cool with that. To me, this is kind of like Inside Xbox is probably like a longer version of This Week in Xbox, where I think that show that Major Nelson hosts. So with the show I've never watched, but I'm sure that's kind of like the same thing, but just a longer version. And I said this with the PlayStation experience. The problem isn't necessarily talking to devs about games coming out. Like that's not the problem. The problem is that you have to make it a way that makes it engaging, and you have to make it into a way that you present like big news out of it. Now you can argue back and forth about whatever big news that came out of the Xbox Inside Xbox thing, but at the end of the day, if it's just a small little show dedicated to talking about stuff going on around Xbox, I don't see a problem with it. To be honest with you, I don't really see a big deal when it comes to that. So I mean, that's really all I have to say about that. Come on, what I mean, I mean, they can use third party devs. You know what I mean? Like they can use third party devs. So yeah. So like speaking of I guess the show that kind of I guess you can say inspired that Nintendo Direct. I didn't watch that show either, but obviously the big deal with Nintendo Direct was the announcement of the new Smash Brothers game. And listen, I'm not big into Smash Brothers, but obviously we all know that game is we know that game is to get that it's a popular game for a reason. You have some of the other announcements that came out for it. You have Mario Tennis Aces. I actually would like to play a tennis game, but some of the Mario sports games are too out there for me. Like Mario Golf is too much. It's too far out there for me. Um, and this one seemed to be a little bit too much for me. Also, I don't like I don't mind game being cartoonish. Sports game being cartoonish, but I don't want them to be like over the top. You know what I mean? Like top Hot Shots Golf to me is kind of like the perfect balance between cartoonish and sim. And some of these games are too over the top. They did talk about some they did talk about some 3DS games, and mainly Mario Luigi's Mansion. And to me, not. I don't understand why this game is available on the 3DS. In my opinion, this game should be on the Switch. If you want to, you want to make it also for the 3DS, fine, whatever. Yeah. I mean that's right. I mean that's true. I mean that's the rate. Playing 360 games seems to be all the rage nowadays. So yeah. But yeah. So like I was saying. Me personally, um, the Luigi Mansion should have been a Switch game. I don't understand why I don't know why it's only available on 3DS. It doesn't make any sense to me, in my opinion. But regarding the Switch game, they're gonna have Okami HD. They have is this a Dark Souls remastered? Okay, okay. I do think I know they're talking about the amiibos and stuff like that, but I think there's gonna be a Dark Souls remastered. Octopath, which is a game I've never heard of, but apparently it's an RPG coming out. You have Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, which I believe was a Wii U game. Undertale is also coming to Switch. Oh, this is something I forgot to mention. Let me discuss this real quick. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, right? This game was a PlayStation 4 exclusive, and now predictably it's coming out for the Switch, and I believe it's also coming out for the Xbox One. And PlayStation gamers are losing their fucking minds over this. Now, the PlayStation gamers I follow haven't done this, so I'm happy about that. But there definitely are people out there, and I've seen the tweets with people going crazy over this. Now, what I don't understand is that one, like, what do people not realize that Crash is not an exclusive character to PlayStation? Do people not realize that? Like, I mean, seriously, like it's made by Activision. Like my Sony sold the right to Crash to Activision years ago, and I mean it hasn't been a PlayStation exclusive ever since. It hasn't been a PlayStation exclusive since then. Why are people getting so answered over this? Like why are people getting so upset about this? Because it's not like it's done. Like it's over. It's done. The game is not an exclusive. It's never going to be an exclusive. It's over with. Move on. I don't understand it. Like I saw there's a petition going on. It's not much of a petition, so it's like not a big deal. But you have petitions, you got people making videos and shit like that. Like I'm like, what are you guys bitching about? Like it's over with. It's done. Like and at the end of the day, more people get to enjoy the game. Like I didn't play the game because I'm not into nostalgia like that. If people want to play the game on the Switch and play and Xbox, let them. You guys have other games to play. What the fuck you guys bitching about? So fucking dumb. Exactly. But okay, but regardless of that, let me look at more of the Nintendo stuff. They have Little Nightmares. I believe that game came out already. The the Switch version of South Park, The Fractured Butthole is coming out as well. The Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition is coming out as well. And then obviously the big news was the Super Smash Brothers Switch game. And to me like the one thing that you can say about the Switch is that they're bringing games to the console. Is bringing unique third party games to the console, regardless of whether or not they're ports. And obviously Nintendo fanboys can be hypocritical about this all they want, but there's a shit ton of ports on the system. But at the same time, you're also getting the next installment of one of the biggest franchises in gaming, which is Smash Brothers, which is fine. And at the end of the day, you still have Metro Prime for on the horizon. So you gotta give Nintendo a little credit, man. I think they learned some of their mistakes, learned from some of their mistakes from the Wii U. Not all of them, but some of them. But before I go, let me talk about my experience a little bit with the Switch. They had I went to GameStop. I was actually just looking for headphones. So, but I GameStop was there, so I decided to go in, and they had Zelda Breath of the Wild on there as a demo to play. So, and the way they had it set up was they had the Joy Cons on one side, and they had the controller with when it sticks to the I don't know what the base of it is called. I forgot what it's called, but you click the Joy-Cons together onto the base, and then you can play it there. Um, that controller setup is very clunky. It's that like I don't have like humongous hands, but I can't use that controller. That controller is made for a 5-year-old. You have the joysticks on it had the joystick, I believe, placement is the same as the let me look yeah. Those Joy-Cons are ass. I do not like that controller setup at all. I don't like that setup at all. So let me look this up real quick because I completely I completely forgot. But it felt very cumbersome. Like the way the thumbstick setup was, it's pretty much like the 360, but 360 Xbox, with the how would you call it, diagonal joysticks, and then you have the button. Like to me, the problem is that the size of it is so small that it makes going from the left joystick to the left to the buttons on the bottom to the D-pad very uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It didn't feel comfortable at all. And then obviously I'm not using the Joy-Cons by themselves. So if I ever do get a Switch, which is very low to be honest with you, but if I ever did get a Switch, I have to get the Pro controller because I can't use that controller setup. It's too small for my hands. And like I said, I don't have the biggest hands in the world, but like that controller is too fucking small. And Joy-Con, you fuck those Joy-Con. I'm not using them by themselves. I agree with you, man. They need to be at an angle, like and the 360 Xbox One controller is at an angle. You know what I mean? Like, and that makes it makes using that controller a lot easier to use. Um, but yeah, I can't do it. Like Breath of the Wild, it's a beautiful game. Like it's surprised. I was surprised by how good it looks. Now, the first time I saw Breath of the Wild, I was in a cave, and I didn't think the game looked great. But out in the wild, no pun intended, out in the wild with the. Oh yeah, that is true. I think they do have ways you can plug in your PS4 controller in there. So yeah, so but to me, I don't have any real interest in the Switch right now. Um, it's just not, the console's just not for me. But I can admit that Nintendo done some good things with it. So I don't want to completely shit on it. But so pretty much yeah, I can't use that controller, man. I can't use it. I would have to buy a Pro controller. Um, if I ever do get one. But Odyssey, look, I haven't seen Odyssey live, but I was impressed with the graphics of Breath of the Wild. I was actually pretty impressed. Like when you're out there with the trees and the leaves and shit like that. I actually thought it looked impressive. Um, but you know, I'm still not interested. Is there anything else to talk about? Not really. I mean, I do have. I'm probably going to buy. I'm going to pre-order MLB The Show 18. I'm still playing 17. So when 18, I'm trying to get as much gameplay in 17 before I get 18. Um, and then after that, I know Soul Calibur is coming out soon after that, so I'm definitely gonna get that. No, I actually think Breath of the Wild looks good. I was actually impressed by the way the game looked. I mean, I think it looks better than games like Horizon? Fuck no, absolutely not. But I thought it looked good. I actually thought it looked good. Um, so yeah, like I was saying, I'm probably gonna get Soul Calibur relatively soon as well. Just trying to decide which console I'm gonna get it on. Whether I get it on the PS4 and Xbox One. And then after that, I know hopefully maybe we might get more news on Crackdown. Obviously God of War, definitely. A hat. I got Hat in Time. Hat in Time. Well, what game? What game is that? Yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comment section, Wolf. Um, obviously, God of War. Obviously, I'm getting that in April. Um, I mean, I'm not interested in Sea of Thieves or or State of Decay, so I don't really care about those. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like I don't really have much else to talk about. Thank you guys for watching. Just make sure you guys like, share, do all that jazz. Anyways, all right, man. All right, I'll see you guys later. I am out. Peace.